Good morning, everyone. Stephanie Denman from the Denman Homestead here. And my husband and I are going to start the big garden. Well, we've been starting it. We've got it plowed, disked, covered. Then yesterday I came and plowed, disked, and tilled the ground again. And today we're going to start making our rows. Buddy is getting a all-natural organic fertilizer together that he's going to spray the ground with. It's like composted, fermented chicken manure, fish, eggs, seaweed stuff. I don't know. He looked into it and he's going to add that to the soil before we start planting. So he's going to amend it a little bit, and then yeah, and then we are going to roll out our black weed barrier fabric for the rows. So that's the plan. I really want to get our vegetables in the ground pretty quickly because they're really outgrowing their pots. And it looks like we're not going to have another freeze, fingers crossed, judging by the forecast. So there are a few days where it's going to dip into the 40s, but in the early morning hours, but I think the soil is warm enough now that it'll be fine and it's not going to damage the roots or anything. So yeah, I wanted to bring you guys along today so while we work the garden and get it all prepared and ready. Release the pump handle?
Yeah.
Oh, here you go.
Okay.
That's cool. Straight lines are hard.
So what I'm doing is
Huh?
I'm explaining what I'm doing.
Oh.
So I have this tank sprayer, and inside of it is a 50 to 1 ratio of an organic fertilizer. And we've used, this is Texas Pasture Plus organic, but we've used other ones with all the same kind of similar things in it. It's got like fermented chicken poop in it. It's got fish eggs and some kind of seaweed compost, but it's got all those like microorganisms that do all the cool stuff in your dirt. They allow your dirt to use water more efficiently. They eat up the bad stuff that's in there, and even the dead grass that's left in there, they can start eating that stuff up. But it's also a 15-10-5 nitrogen, phosphorus, potash combination, so it's got a lot of good stuff in it. And I'm just going to spray the entire garden with it. Continuing on. I ain't afraid of compost. Okay. Going down the row, take a look at our first one. It's got a little bit of curve to it, but we're straightening that out right now. This is our first row. This will be the end of the road garden. And then this back portion will be all corn and sorghum. That's the plan so far.
Yeah, these rows are definitely smaller down here, but
yeah,
that's okay. Trying to heap them up a little bit more.
straight as an arrow. I have a feeling that Steph is going to tell me when she comes back out here that the walkways are too wide. She wants more room for plants. But I told her 2 feet, and I'm doing like 3.5 feet, I think. I'll measure it here in a second. Because that's kind of what she does. She wants all the room for planting, but none of the room for picking. And I tell you, when this squash gets big, it's going to be like a jungle. You're not going to be able to even walk. This squash gets huge, that summer squash, and it just fans out all over the place. And then you have no room, and you're just like squeezing past all the plants. And I don't want to do that. I would like to just have a nice lane to crouch down and start picking vegetables. Space for my bucket. Easier to see everything, so you're not leaving something on the vine that you should have picked. So let's measure it out. 2, 3, yeah, 3 feet. That's 3 feet. She should be okay with that. If I had my way, I'd probably do 4. But 3 feet's gonna work. On the first row, you can kind of get an idea. But man, when you start the second row, and you've got row, walking path, man, it's starting to take shape, and I'm getting excited already. I am getting excited already. I can just taste, I guess since I was just talking about summer squash, I can just taste the summer squash, zucchini. Oh man, I'm hungry thinking about it. Just had a wide row. It's a 3-foot row. I measured it.
Did you?
Yeah, I measured it.
With what?
My feet.
Why are you laughing?
Because I was just talking to the camera. And I said, when Steph comes out here, she's going to complain that these rows are too wide. And she's going to say, that's not enough room for my plants. I was like, 3 feet, enough room. And I want to walk down this lane, sit down with a bucket, with ease, and pick vegetables. I was like, because she always does it, she gives us no room in between the plants. And then we're in a jungle fighting to try and harvest what we need to harvest.
Okay.
First thing she says when she walks out, that's a wide row.
I said that there is a wide row. If you want to be specific.
That there's a wide row.
That there.
And you didn't even say like walking path, and I knew what you meant.
Grows on the ground.
Yeah.
Spaghetti squash, which we do have a couple plants of that. That gets everywhere.
I was sitting there talking about it, and I was like making myself hungry because I was just thinking of like the fresh summer squash cooked up.
Some onions and bacon.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's good with onions and bacon? It's green beans.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Would you like a hinge?
Something came unhinged out here.
Something did.
Oh, I just thought of a funny thing I should have said when I had the backpack on.
What?
Because I look like a Ghostbuster.
You did.
I should say, I ain't afraid of compost.
What does that mean?
I ain't afraid of compost. I ain't afraid of no ghost. The Ghostbuster line.
Oh, is that what they say?
Oh my God. No pop culture references. Some of us don't get them. Ugh.
I ain't afraid of no ghost. That's what they say?
Yeah.
I thought they say, who are you going to call?
In the song. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
maybe if you sang it like that while you said, I ain't afraid of no compost.
If I sang it, we'd get copyright claimed.
Because you sound so much like it?
Yeah, because I can do the instruments, I can do the vocals, I'm a full range orchestra. We don't need the actual Ghostbusters coming after us.
Does not sound like a good time. How are we doing on our
straightness?
On our curvature?
Well, before you came out here, I was dead on. And you can see where you started. We started pulling towards you.
Oh. I wonder how that why that is. Like, this is 3 feet.
I think it's because I'm raking and you're coming behind me and raking back towards you, so you're constantly pulling it a little bit further towards you.
Okay, you want to switch sides?
Okay. Yeah, just pull right there. Yeah, we're starting right there, or actually right here. From this side, start pulling back. And G said it looks beautiful.
She did?
Yeah.
That's nice. I heard you talking to her about P-Pat.
Yeah, I was just telling her, I was waiting for her to say why P-Pat was called P-Pat. And she was like, I forgot so much stuff. She was like, I obviously forgot a whole lot of stuff, including how she even got that name.
Tell the people how she got her name, babe.
Huh?
Tell the peoples.
How P-Pat got her name?
Yeah.
So, you heard in the video.
They may not have heard because it's not.
Oh. There is a video, came out yesterday, I think. Well, it came out yesterday relative to when I am right now, but not necessarily relative when you're going to see this video. But they talked about how, it was G, and she talked about P-Pat on Paw Paw's video. And they were explaining P-Pat's mom and dad, their living situation, the back and forth between California and Texas, and all that kind of stuff. And there's part of the story where, you know, P-Pat's original name was Lottie Mae, and I had actually forgotten that. Hold on, there's a truck driving by. I'm gonna wait until it passes. So P-Pat's name, her birth name, was Lottie Mae. And when Old Pops, P-Pat's dad, when Old Pops met her, they had a joke.
Dad?
I mean, sorry, Gigi's dad. There was like a joke that when he saw her, he thought she looked like a Patricia. Every time he saw her, he thought she looked like a Patricia. So then she just nicknamed herself Patricia as a thing. And then from there, it became Pat. And then when I was little and, you know, like learning how to spell and read, I would go over to the store where everyone worked, and I would help out over there and play over there. I have a lot of childhood memories of being over there, but they would tell me, can you spell her name? Pat, P-A-T. And for whatever reason, I would go P Pat instead of just saying P-A-T. P and then just say Pat. And then, I don't know, everyone thought it was hilarious. And for whatever reason, the name stuck and it became P Pat and Pops. And that was who they were, P Pat and Pops. You know, for story's sake, to not confuse people when you're talking and you say Pops, because we also call Paw Paw Pops. Pops, the original Pops became Old Pops.
Yeah.
Because then we could tell stories and people knew who we were talking about. So yeah, this is another little bonus feature on the P-Pat.
Paw is young Pops.
Yeah, but I just call them Pop. I mean, I don't
know.
think I've ever said out of my mouth young Pops.
I know. It was just old Pops, but
There's Pops and old Pops.
Pops should know that he's young Pops.
Yeah, Pops is young Pops.
He's young Pops. He's Pops Jr.
As soon as I finish this garden, I'll be a Pops.
Does that even mean? I'm going to stand here and act like I'm telling a story so that I can take a break.
It's not even really a walking path. It's a picking path.
A picking path?
Picking path.
Maybe I should sing the ABCs. So he thinks that I'm over here saying something, but I'm not. There's a lot of ants. Man, there's a ton of ants. Think that's going to be a problem?
What? Ants? No. Ants don't hurt anything.
There's a ton of them. Okay, story time over.
This was their home first.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of home first, remember when I had a scorpion problem?
Yeah. I had a scorpion problem.
Yes.
I think the rest of the family just saw scorpions. I was the one that had a scorpion problem. Yeah, when we first moved in, we didn't, I don't know how long it was after we first moved in that we saw our first scorpion, but it was pretty crazy.
It was immediate.
Yeah. Now, for reference, I grew up here my entire life, and I don't think I ever once saw a scorpion until we took a trip to Arizona. And I saw scorpions in Arizona, and I was like, that's crazy. I honestly didn't know we had scorpions here. And when we built our house, and all of a sudden we started seeing scorpions. Another one of them. Yeah, we started seeing scorpions, and I was like, what is happening, you know? I had never seen them before. And then we realized as we would do projects around the house, we realized that anytime we disturbed the earth outside, if we added onto the back porch or put in garden beds, you know, it was like anything that was close to the house where we would start disturbing the earth, we'd start seeing scorpions again coming in the house for whatever reason. And then it got worse, because then one day I'd just gotten out of the shower and I was drying off, and I got stung on my arm. I got stung on my arm, my hand, I can't remember. But I got stung while I was drying off, and I threw the towel down, and there was a scorpion in the towel. And it hurt, man. I've been stung by so many things in my life, but scorpion sting hurt. It didn't swell up, but I don't really ever swell up. But man, did it hurt. And I didn't know what to think about it, except for the fact that I was so glad it decided to sting me on the hand out of all the other places that towel was. But it wasn't too long after that, it happened to me a second time. And it was like my other arm or something. But yeah, a second time, same exact scenario, getting out of the shower, drying off, and it stings me. Like, I guess it wanted to be in a towel or something. I don't know, but it stung me again.
Tell them about your ritual you do now.
Yeah, well, I don't do it so much anymore. I was just thinking about it, but it caused me to have a bathtub towel or a shower towel phobia, which might be a new thing, but it was a legit phobia of drying off. So I did it for so long. I would get out of the shower and I'd grab the towel and I would just furiously shake it into the air and then inspect every part of it and then dry off. And I did that for so long, but just now after telling this story, I don't know when I stopped, but I don't do it anymore. So scorpions, if you're listening, now's the time to strike. I am unprepared. Yeah, that's my scorpion story.
This is going to be a 3-hour long garden video.
We'll just make it a documentary. We'll get a website and get a documentary on there that you can just sit down and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
The tale of the Denman Homestead Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have said anything. I'm just gonna ramble on. Anyway, change the subject.
Babe, I'm so nervous and excited about this, but a little bit, I'm all of a sudden feeling kind of nervous. Glass?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Kind of nervous. Why?
I don't know. Like, Lena? Like, what if it doesn't do good?
Just gotta love it.
Huh?
Just gotta put love into it. It'll grow.
Well,
we've had a garden here before, albeit 1/10 the size, and it did great. Our garden was great before, in the same dirt.
yeah, I'm also nervous because of the heat, drought, watering.
I hope we don't have a drought 2 years in a row. God, that would suck.
Yeah.
Typically, after a drought, you get a lot of rain.
Yeah, but we're in
actually
apocalyptic times.
We have had a lot of rain this year so far. You know?
Yeah, I did pick up during the winter.
Yeah, during the winter, man.
We had a wet winter.
Super wet. Not cold, but super wet.
Not cold. Well, I guess not.
It wasn't cold.
It's cold to me.
We had like 3 days all winter of below freezing temperature.
Yeah. Which surprising. I don't know. Have you seen our pear tree in the front? How many blossoms?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Insane. I don't think I've ever seen our pear tree with so many blossoms. And normally our first really good yield year of pears was after we had a really harsh winter.
Yeah.
I figured we weren't going to have very many because we didn't have very many chills.
That was the Texas cold snap.
Yeah.
Nothing shuts down Texas like cold weather.
For real. You know, people tend to make fun of us, but we don't have the infrastructure to handle. We don't have the pipes. We don't have the road maintenance.
Yep.
We don't have the plows. We're not made for snow.
Nope. But it is cool when it happens, though. I think it's awesome when we get actual snow.
I know.
The cold snaps, especially the ones that don't really come with precipitation, they're just freezing cold.
Yeah.
Those suck.
Yeah. I mean, if it's going to freeze, it would be nice if it would snow.
Right. So at least it looks pretty.
Yeah. You know what we need to do? We need to unwinterize our RV.
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet.
True.
You got a little wide there.
Did I?
Well, no, I'm looking. Look, come see where I'm looking.
Oh, yeah. Started to snake this way
Branch out a little, yeah.
I think the next few rows or whatever, We just let them end up where they end up.
No, I want to be able to drive down the
Oh,
driveway.
natural, baby.
I want to drive down the driveway and see like...
Straight, perfect rows?
Yes, it's so aesthetically pleasing.
Such a perfectionist.
Maybe it's like a touch OCD or something.
Yeah.
Look at Molly. Look at Molly.
Man, Molly, so Molly's on half milk, half feed now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she is like a puppy, and it is so funny because she knocks my mom around, and she like, you know that, what do they call it when you flat tire someone with her shoe? She does that, and my mom goes like falling all over the place over there, but
That's funny.
She starts her morning with the milk bottle, and then my mom has to walk out to the feed room, and she's just like right on, pushing her around, headbutting her, like trying to get out to the feed room. Is super cute.
Sweet.
Home stretch for row 2.
Yeah.
Cheers.
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 It is 5:09. We started essentially at sunup this morning.
We finished eating breakfast at 8:30.
Yeah.
That's a long day.
Yeah. But there's rows. The rows are finished.
Rows and rows and rows. How many rows do we have?
9.5.
9.5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, 8 3/4. I mean, it could just be a full 9 if you want to count the blackberry and blueberry bushes. They're just not mounded up.
Yeah. Almost 9. We stopped the rows at... Look at the bees. Man.
Is that new babies coming out? Are they
Both.
GPSing?
They're flying in from gathering, and also new babies are... I got distracted, I'm sorry. Where was I at? Oh.
9 rows.
We did 9 rows, but we stopped kind of where we're standing right now. I don't know, a quarter of the garden is going to be for corn and sorghum, and we're not gonna put them in rows, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. This little spot, we were just kind of talking about it when we were finished, that it's probably going to be our pumpkin patch.
Yeah, it'll be our pumpkin patch.
Whenever we harvest the corn and sorghum, whatever month that ends up being, May, June, whenever, we'll pull it all up and we'll throw pumpkins here in this flat part and let them just kind of vine out.
Yeah, because they're going to need lots of space.
Yeah. And then by October, hopefully our pumpkins are ready.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be time to brew a pumpkin beer with Denman Homestead pumpkins.
Listen, don't let me forget.
Uh-huh.
Because I didn't think about it. We need to reserve some space, probably on the end, for the watermelons. Because there's some stuff that I can't plant just yet that I want to have ready for a summer crop. But watermelons I need to wait on. And I think some other stuff that I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was going to delay planting. But watermelons are going to take up a lot of space. So if we plant them on the end, they can kind of come out we can train them to come this way.
Yeah.
What else was it? Was it butternut squash maybe? I'll have to look.
Like fall vegetables?
Yeah. But watermelons for summer. So I was going to wait to plant those so they're ready like June, July, August.
Acorn squash and butternut squash are like a fall squash, right? Yeah. Okay, well, tomorrow...
Back to the regular.
Tomorrow we're going to wake up early and we're going to do weed barrier.
Yeah. We have a really cool something to share with you about our weed barrier, because I think, I don't know how word got around, probably because of how much I've talked about the grass and tilling and everything, but we've got a pretty cool something to share with y'all tomorrow about the weed barrier. So come back tomorrow.
But I think for the rest of the night, Steph and I are going to sit around a fire because we collected all kinds of old torn up roots and wood today and threw it on top of our burn pile. I mean, a lot of it's been there for a little bit, but is it in the shot?
Yeah, it's right there. Molly's in the background. I don't know if they can see.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's the burn pile right there where we burned a lot of the tree stuff. But
I also have a burn pile going on.
yeah, she's burned.
Oof.
I'm just a little more tan.
I am crispy.
But yeah, we're gonna sit around a fire and just kind of relax because this, we did this all by hand. So
we did it all by hand. We just literally spent all day raking these mounds together. And I know that probably just, when you look at it, you're like, oh, cool. But we don't have an attachment that like gathers the dirt in rows, like nice, pretty rows. We don't have that attachment. So we just had to go by hand on flat ground and mound it all up.
Hand worked.
Talk about back breaking though. Like when people say that's back breaking work, like
yeah,
when you're bent over, you're bent over like pulling forever, it just really takes a toll on your back.
Yeah, shout out to my mom because
I
went over there to borrow her rake. We only have one metal rake. Went over there to borrow hers, and she was heading to town, and she brought me back like a really nice rake, metal rake with sharp, really sharp points on it because our points are rounded. Some of these spots on this garden, you could bang that rake down and just bounce right off of it. The rake she brought me dug in. Yeah, it was really nice. So that helped. That helped a lot. But yeah, so that's it for this one. The rows are finished. And yeah, so we're going to chill. And then tomorrow, bright and early, we can get up and we're going to start doing weed fabric. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.